Hey girl, hey, welcome back. So I'd like to have a little full transparency moment. Y'all, sometimes I feel like a fraud, okay? A fraud and a hypocrite. I feel like I tell people to be positive, have a positive attitude, have faith, and that things are going to work out. And then also I have many days where I struggle myself. And I'm like, how can I tell people to be positive when I'm over here wallowing in my stuff? Wallowing because, I don't know, you name it, that's where I'm at. But that's what I'm also kind of realizing, that's kind of the point, is like, we're always gonna have some bad days. You know why? Because we're humans, and there are bad things that are gonna happen to us and around us that are just going to affect us, whether we want them to or not. Because sometimes we don't even realize what it is that is affecting us. Because sometimes I don't even realize what it is. I just wake up and I'm feeling off that day, like off. But one of the things that I have started to, I guess, grasp onto or whatever is, even though I might feel like a fraud, there is still some resilience within me, because I do have crappy days, and maybe I'll stay down for more than one day, but I don't stay there and I don't live there forever. And in my past, oh gosh, y'all, I would live there for like long periods of time. And then obviously the longer you live down there in that dark crevice, our life is full of peaks and valleys, and sometimes I just be living in the darkness. And for some reason, I used to live in a valley. I would let the darkness consume me, but it wasn't like I just let the darkness consume me and then I shook it off and then I went on. No, in the past, I would let the darkness consume me until it would almost, I almost didn't get out. But I'm still here. I have battle wounds to remind me of this battle of me not being here, but also to remind me that I am still here. And I struggle now more so in the last few months, because seasonal depression is a real thing. And so between the seasonal depression, the lack of income at the current moment, the various things that are going on in my life that feel like I have 30,000 balls up in the air and I don't know how to catch a single one of them. And trusting the process and trusting that it's going to be okay. And y'all, I am really not good with trust, okay? Because people have broken my trust time and time and time and time again. And so then, even though God is not a human, my human brain says, oh my goodness, God's not going to take care of me. Even though I literally have so many, I'm alive today. I'm alive today, and there's many a times where I should not be. And I have clothes on my back. I have food in my stomach. I have a roof over my head. I have support. There are things. I have been through worse situations. And although everything that I'm going through right now feels like a lot, it's just overwhelming and laying on me. And I have to stop picking it back up and stop taking it on, because obviously I can't do nothing with it, y'all. I can't. If I could, I would have fixed it a while ago, because I'm really kind of over this, because I'm kind of over the weather. I'm grateful. And so even in that, I'm grateful for the winter weather, because hopefully it will kill off some mosquitoes. We have definitely needed some of that. And I know that we need this transition, whether yada yada. I get it, I know. But I like a little sun. I like a little bit more sun in my life. I have purchased previously one of those sunlights. It doesn't work for me, so like, this is just where we're at. But in the midst of that, like, it's not just about the sun. It's about my mental. It's about working through it. It's about creating a safety plan. So I remember there was a situation where I was like, oh, I'm going to have to create a safety plan. And my cousin was like, no, you get to create a safety plan. You know, you're going into an environment where it's not potentially safe for your mental health. And so now you're creating a safety plan. And so I think of this when I'm in a down place. You know, if you don't know what a safety plan is, I've worked where, if you are suicidal, homicidal, or anything like that, or substance abuse, we create a plan. You know, what does it look like when you're starting to get down? How can we help you? Who are some of your support people? And so for me, you know, I know what I do. I know what I need to do. So, example, last week, I was not in a good headspace. I couldn't have told you why, because I don't know. I don't know. And so what I did is I binged watched some TV and I colored. And then at the end of the day, I ended up crying and talking it out, and I still couldn't tell you what it was about. I think it's just like, I'm overwhelmed and I am not handling it very well. Because I just am not currently handling it very well. That's just where it's at right now. And then the next day I woke up and I still just wasn't feeling right. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to pray about it. And like the first day when I just binged some TV, I messaged a friend and I was like, I'm not okay today. I'm not okay. And here are some little bits of reasons why. And she offered me her support and her love, and I cried, and then I worked through it. And then the next day, I have people in my life, and I'm so grateful. And as much as I feel like, oh, I'm just this fraud, I'm not a fraud. I'm a human who is struggling and is literally pushing through every single day. And that's all we can do. And I just like to share some of the things that work for me. I don't like crying, y'all, okay? Like, crying is not like my, oh, I like to cry. Because, y'all, you would have thought that I love crying because over the last probably 3 months, I have cried so much. It's actually kind of out of control. Actually, that's not even true. I've cried a lot lately, but it's crazy because each time I can tell you each time, and I've started to track it in my phone so I could see if it was because even though I have no cycle, I still have my ovaries, so I still cycle. And so I'm not I don't have that kind of reminder, but my body is still doing the thing. And also I'm growing, things are changing. Life is lifing. We are in a unprecedented type times with the amount of natural disasters and things that are just happening. And it's a lot and it's overwhelming. And then, for me, for my own mental health, I have to put all of that other stuff out because I can't. And that's okay too. So maybe you're like that. That's okay too. I take a safety plan. I take myself in and I dabble in. Okay, that's the information I need to know because as a social worker, there's a lot of things that are going on in the world that I kind of need to know in order to be able to do my job or not be able to do my job. And I take what I can in, and then I say, oh, and now we're going to put up a block because I have enough going on in my current, regular, everyday life that I can't handle this big mass of stuff as well. And so that is kind of a part of my safety plan is knowing, okay, I'm going too much down a rabbit hole. I'm going to spiral myself into something about something that I can't control. And that makes no sense. So I'm intentional about that. And, another thing that I've started to like really try to embrace is that it's okay if I'm not stringing together a bunch of good days all in one perfect little line. I had a good day Sunday and Monday, but Tuesday I wasn't in a good place. Wait, Sunday and Monday, yeah. But Tuesday I wasn't in a good place. Wednesday's a new day to start a new string. It doesn't mean that I'm a fraud. It just means that I'm a human. It doesn't mean that I'm a hypocrite because sometimes I lose my own faith. It's because for so long I didn't really have faith and I still struggle with trust. And so sometimes I had to be reminded, like, okay. It's going to be okay. I have literally been through worse. This situation that I'm in is not the end of the world. The world is not ending. And sometimes I take this little molehill and I turn it into a mountain. And I don't intend to do that. It's just unwiring that I have to do. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to unwire the things that we've learned. And we put so much pressure on ourselves and other people to be perfect all the time. But the thing is, there's no such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. All we can do is what we can do, and we can just continue to grow and continue to learn. And we have to remember that we should never stop learning and stop growing, because we can always learn and grow. Your brain is always learning and growing. And even though a lot of times when I'm feeling down, I feel like a fraud or a hypocrite, I have to also remember that my bad days don't last nearly as long as they used to. And I am extremely grateful for that. I'm extremely grateful that I have chosen to create a safety plan for myself to know I got to reach out to my people and tell them I'm not okay. I've got to allow myself to cry, even though I don't enjoy crying. I take showers, I color, and sometimes I just sleep all day. Now, it's not a good thing to do all the time, but sometimes you just have to rest because maybe that's exactly what your body needs in that moment. Just don't stay there too long. And really also, I just want to really also give a big shout out to the boyfriend, because he has been my rock. He has been a huge support system in everything I do. My business, my school, this channel, my mental health, and most importantly, my faith. My faith is not like his faith. And I am extremely grateful for his faith because it has helped me grow my faith and build a relationship with God. I went to a Christian school from K through 8th, and I can't tell you half. I got nothing. And I grew up in the church. But I can't tell you much because that wasn't about building relationships. That period of my life, what I feel like I remember about it is, it was just a bunch of rules and regulations. And my mom was very sometimey. I grew up Seventh-day Adventist. We're not going to go into this. That's a whole other thing. But I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, and it was my parents were sometimey on which rules and regulations we had to follow. And all I knew is that my mom liked to use the Bible and God as punishment, or as you need to, the Bible says to, and that's a huge turn off for me. And so it has definitely been a learning lesson for me, and one that I'm extremely grateful for, in the relationship that I built, and, being able to talk about my feelings. And, it's also kind of annoying. I say annoying, it's not, But it's been very helpful because he also he challenges my thought process. Okay, yeah. It's slightly annoying sometimes because I'll be like so dead set, like this is what it is, and then he'll be like, well, but then there's also this side, and then I'll be like, okay, I see that. Well, I see that. Ugh. And so it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot with my growth. It's a lot with, unlearning. It's a lot. And sometimes it gets overwhelming and too much. And sometimes I try to take back what I have given to God. And I can't handle it. My tiny little measly old human brain can't handle it. I say that like my brain isn't magical. But also God is the one who's going to help me get through this stuff. So, maybe this resonated with you, maybe it doesn't, but it doesn't matter. It does matter. I've needed to share this for myself because I'm about to enter into another stage of my own personal growth journey and my schooling journey. And I want to be able to be more confident and comfortable in that I'm not really a fraud. I just am human. And guess what? And so are you. And that's okay. And we're going to have good days and we're going to have bad days and we're going to have some really crappy days. And that's okay. And you know what? Maybe those days last longer than days. Maybe they're months. And also, maybe we're lumping a whole day. Maybe we're lumping one little bad situation in a day and creating a whole bad day off of this one little situation. Is your whole day bad, or did you have a really bad few hours and you were able to transition? So, yeah. I think, yeah. Keep going. It's gonna be okay. It might not feel like it right now. But take some deep breaths. Be intentional with your time. Reach out to people. Seek a higher power. And remember that you are loved, you are amazing, and you are enough. Bye.